Hey, thanks for joining me. Today is Friday, January 15th, and I'm surprised I almost forgot that it was Friday because I've been looking forward to Friday for a couple of days now. So I'm surprised that it took me a second to remember. But it is Friday, and I hope you're ready to have a good weekend. If you're doing something fun or interesting, I'd love to know if you just comment below and let me know what you're doing. I'd love to read that. So today we're going to read in Job chapter 40, 41, and 42. And this is going to finish up the book of Job for us. And then tomorrow we'll be back in Genesis to finish that out. So I'm excited. And here we go with chapter 40, verse 1. The Lord answered Job, "Will the one who contends with the Almighty correct him? Let him who argues with God give an answer." Then Job answered the Lord, "I am so insignificant. How can I answer you? I place my hand over my mouth. I have spoken once, and I will not reply. Twice, but now I can add nothing." Then the Lord answered Job from the whirlwind, "Get ready to answer me like a man. I will question you. You will inform me. Would you really challenge my justice? Would you declare me guilty to justify yourself? Do you have an arm like God's? Can you thunder with a voice like his? Adorn yourself with majesty and splendor, and clothe yourself with honor and glory. Unleash your raging anger. Look on every proud person and humiliate him. Look on every proud person and humble him. Trample the wicked where they stand. Hide them together in the dust. Imprison them in the grave. Then I will confess to you that your own right hand can deliver you. Look at Behemoth, which I made along with you. He eats grass like an ox. Look at the strength of his loins, and the power in the muscles of his belly. He stiffens his tail like a cedar tree. The tendons of his thighs are woven firmly together. His bones are bronze tubes. His limbs are like iron rods. He is the foremost of God's works. Only his Maker can draw the sword against him. The hills yield food for him, while all sorts of wild animals play there. He lies under the lotus plants, hiding in the protection of marshy reeds. Lotus plants cover him with their shade. The willows by the brook surround him. Though the river rages, Behemoth is unafraid. He remains confident, even if the Jordan surges up to his mouth. Can anyone capture him while he looks on, or pierce his nose with snares? Chapter 41. Can you pull in Leviathan with a hook, or tie his tongue down with a rope? Can you put a cord through his nose, or pierce his jaw with a hook? Will he beg you for mercy, or speak softly to you? Will he make a covenant with you, so that you can take him as a slave forever? Can you play with him like a bird, or put him on a leash for your girls? Will traders bargain him, or divide him among the merchants? Can you fill his hide with harpoons, or his head with fishing spears? Lay a hand on him. You will remember the battle and never repeat it. Any hope of capturing him proves false. Does a person not collapse at the very sight of him? No one is ferocious enough to rouse Leviathan. Who then can stand against me? Who confronted me that I should repay him? Everything under heaven belongs to me. I cannot be silent about his limbs, his power, and his gracious proportions. Who can strip off his outer covering? Who can penetrate his double layer of armor? Who can open his jaws, surrounded by those terrifying teeth? His pride is in his rows of scales, closely sealed together. One scale is so close to another that no air can pass between them. They are joined to one another, so closely connected that they cannot be separated. His snorting flashes with light, while his eyes are like rays of dawn. Flaming torches shoot out from his mouth. Fiery sparks fly out. Smoke billows from his nostrils, as from a boiling pot or burning reeds. His breath sets coals ablaze, and flames pour out of his mouth. Strength resides in his neck, and dismay dances before him. The folds of his flesh are joined together, solid as metal and immovable. His heart is as hard as a rock, as hard as a lower millstone. When Leviathan rises, the mighty are terrified. They withdraw because of his thrashing. The sword that reaches him will have no effect, nor will a spear, dart, or arrow. He regards iron as straw, and bronze as rotten wood. No arrow can make him flee. Sling stones become like stubble to him. A club is regarded as stubble, and he laughs at the sound of a javelin. His undersides are jagged potsherds, spreading the mud like a threshing sledge. He makes the depths seeth like a cauldron. He makes the sea like an ointment jar. He leaves a shining wake behind him. One would think the deep had gray hair. He has no equal on earth, a creature devoid of fear. He surveys everything that is haughty. He is king over all the proud beasts. Chapter 42. Then Job replied to the Lord, I know you can do anything, and no plan of yours can be thwarted. You asked, who is this who conceals my counsel with ignorance? Surely I spoke about things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know. You said, listen now, and I will speak. When I question you, you will inform me. I had heard rumors about you, but now my eyes have seen you. Therefore I take back my words and repent in the dust and ashes. After the Lord had finished speaking to Job, he said to Eliphaz and said, I am angry with you and your two friends, for you have not spoken the truth about me, as my servant Job has. Now take 7 bulls and 7 rams. Go to my servant Job and offer a burnt offering for yourselves. Then my servant Job will pray for you. I will surely accept his prayer and not deal with you as your folly deserves. For you have not spoken the truth about me, as my servant Job has. Then Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite went and did as the Lord had told them, and the Lord accepted Job's prayer. After Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his prosperity and doubled his previous possessions. All his brothers, sisters, and former acquaintances came to his house and dined with him in his house. They sympathized with him and comforted him concerning all the adversity the Lord had brought on him. Each one gave him a it's spelled Qesitah, and a gold earring. So the Lord blessed the last part of Job's life more than the first. He owned 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 female donkeys. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He named his first daughter Jemimah, his second Keziah, and his third Karine Hapuch. No women as beautiful as Job's daughters could be found in all the land, and their father granted them an inheritance with their brothers. Job lived 140 years after this and saw his children and their children to the 4th generation. Then Job died, old and full of days. Okay, so 2 quick things that I wanted to point out about what we just read. The first is that word that I couldn't say, the Qesitah. There's a note in my Bible that says the value of the currency is unknown. But basically, each one of the family members and former acquaintances there to sympathize with Job and comfort him, they each gave him a little bit of this currency, whatever the value is, we don't know. But they gave him that and a gold earring. So he got some money. That always helps when you're feeling kind of down, right? Sometimes it's not that easy, but it's not a bad thing if you use it right and if you have the right heart behind it. And then the 1,000 yoke of oxen. So a yoke, I didn't know this until my husband preached on it one day in a message, and the reason he preached on it is because he didn't know what it was either. But a yoke is basically like some kind of piece that will basically help a younger, less mature animal be like connected to an older animal, and it helps train them. The more mature animal helps train the younger animal, like how to walk and stuff like that. So that's what that is. So I think that 1,000 yoke of oxen would be about 2,000 oxen. If I'm not right on that, I'll put it like right here below where I'm pointing and correct that. But I think that means that it's about 2,000 oxen. So pretty cool that God restored everything that Job had lost. And God does that with us too. So I hope you're encouraged in that today, and we'll get back to Genesis tomorrow, starting in chapter 12.